If you watched last week's video, you know that I have started a new video series called the 4 Ps. 4 Ps. Still not getting that. Okay, that's fine. Moving on. 4 Ps are plan, purchase, prepare, and plant. Last week, I talked about planning. But now that we've had our planning, now it's time to talk about purchasing. So today's video is going to be about purchasing. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Garden. So we're going to be talking about purchasing. So when you've got your plan in place, you're going to have to start thinking about purchasing. If you don't have your containers yet, you're going to be needing to purchase containers. If you haven't already got seeds, you'll need to purchase seeds or seedlings or even plants. So to start off, we're going to talk about containers. And because I wanted to look for some containers locally, I went to Jamesfield Garden Centre over in Abernethy and had a look at some of the containers that they have on sale. So let's go. So we're going into Jamesfield Garden Centre here in Abernethy in Perthshire, and we're going to look at some containers. Okay, so we're inside the garden center now, and as you can see, there's loads of containers behind me. There's so many different varieties of containers that you can be using. Obviously, plastic is going to be really light. You need to make sure that you have drainage holes in them, so if it doesn't have drainage holes in it, then you need to make sure that you can make drainage holes inside. So you could grow a tomato in this container, for instance, and it's a pretty color. These are ginormous containers. And again, I can't get it out. Again, there's no drainage in here, and you will, even with a container this size, you still need drainage. This would be good for growing potatoes or even corn or something like that. And then you've got containers this size. These with the little hooks will go over the side of a fence or on a window ledge or something like that. But again, you need the drainage holes. That is very important. Did you see some of the prices on those containers in there? Those are some pretty good deals. Anyway, so when you're looking at purchasing containers, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what are you actually going to be planting in the container? If you're going to be planting something like beetroot or lettuce, you don't need a really deep container. But if you're going to be planting tomatoes, you need a little bit of a bigger container. One reason is the roots, obviously. And another reason, too, is that if your container's too small, if you have a big wind, these tomato plants are going to be top heavy and it could topple over. So you need something you can put some weight in the bottom to keep them from knocking themselves over. The next thing that you need to ask yourself is, can I make sure that it has good drainage? So if you're going to pick up containers like at the ones that we saw at Jamesfield Garden Centre, then you're going to need to make sure that you put drainage holes in yourself. You'll need to use a screwdriver or a drill or something to put the holes in the bottom of the container for drainage. Another option is to use my favorite containers, which are these felt fabric containers. There's a couple of reasons that I use these. One is because they were very inexpensive. 2, they've got these lovely handles on them so you can move them around if you need to. And 3, we're back to drainage again. The fabric containers drain all over. They drain on the bottom, they drain on the sides if there's too much rain or if you put too much water in them. So you definitely don't have to worry about drainage if you use the fabric containers. And you don't have to worry about drainage if you use a container that you have made plenty of drainage holes in the bottom of. And question number 3 is, how much money do you have to spend on containers? You can spend as much or as little on containers as you want to. I actually got a load of free containers off of my Facebook community page last year, and I used several of them in the garden last year. You may have seen the long oblong containers that I used to grow the cucumbers in. Those were ones that I got off of the Facebook community page. The containers that I used to grow the bulbs in on the front steps last year, those were free containers that I got off of the Facebook community page as well. So look for things like that. Look for things that are on sale. Right now is a good time to go looking for stuff. And also, if there's anything in the house that you think that you can use, you might be able just to reuse it. Food safe buckets that you can get from restaurants. I mean, basically, if it can hold soil and water, then it'll hold a plant that you can grow. So just ask those things to yourself as you're looking at your containers, at things that you want to grow your things in this year. So we've talked about containers, so let's talk about seeds. Okay, so you've made your plan, you have your containers, and now it's time to think about what seeds you're going to need. You already know what you want to plant, so we need to talk about getting your seeds. If you don't have your seeds already and you're starting from scratch, you need to go and find a place that sells what you're looking for. Now, I live in Scotland, that I have access to a company called Premier Seeds Direct. Now, I'm not affiliated with them. I just use their seeds because, 1, I have found that they're very good quality seeds, and 2, I've also found that they are very inexpensive and they're very affordable. Their seeds come in little packets like this, little silver packets. The yellow label tells you that it's organic, and you can get all kinds of varieties on their website. They don't have the pictorial packets because that's one of the ways that they are saving money. So if you want seeds that have the pictorial packets, you'll have to go to other places. Now, I know that Wilco, someplace that we really don't have around where we live is Wilco, and I know that they have good prices on their seeds. And a lot of the seed companies that you get your seed catalogs, like King Seeds, D.T. Brown, Mr. Fothergill's, they have seed packets that they have on sale that they sell at a lower price as well. One of the pluses about being able to use seeds instead of seedlings or plants is that you have a wider variety of different kinds of things that you can plant. If you buy seedlings for tomatoes, say for instance in the garden center or nursery, your choices are going to be a lot more limited because they can only have so many different kinds of tomato seedlings. So just keep that in mind when it's time to buy your seeds or seedlings. Seedlings are not something that's out of the window though, because if you've waited too long, or if your weather's been bad, or something's gone on and you've missed the opportunity to sow something that needs a longer season, say for instance like tomatoes, that's just kind of the go-to for that. But you can get seedlings from the garden center, the nursery. So there you go. We've talked about purchasing containers. We've talked about purchasing seeds, seedlings. If there's anything else that you're planning on buying for your garden this year, let me know down in the comments, because I'd really like to know what you guys have got going on. Next week, we're going to be talking about preparation. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do to prepare the garden and your containers right now that will be getting them ready to plant when it's time to plant. So don't forget to tune in, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and hit that little notification button, and you won't miss any of the videos, especially in this video series about the 4 P's, anyway. So just remember that you don't have to grow all the things, just grow something. Take care. Bye, y'all.